taking a video of my fatness?
I am.
Basking in the afternoon glow.
I'm measuring your fatness by your taste in beer.
Hey guys, welcome back to Broke OverLand, where we join our intrepid, if not partially inept travelers as they leave the 95-degree weather of central Arizona, headed straight for the wide open and slightly chillier scene of the open prairie. Like the random spot where a 300,000-ton meteorite traveling around 26,000 miles per hour slammed into the earth, leaving behind a 750-foot wide, 560-foot deep scar in the landscape. Behold, Meteor Crater National Landmark.
Okay, big hole in the ground.
As we headed west from Meteor Crater back towards Flagstaff, we saw what looked like an abandoned gas station and some ruined stone buildings at the exit of Two Guns. You know I'm a sucker for abandoned roadside history, so of course, we took a little detour to check this place out. A quick look at Google Maps showed a pin labeled as Apache Death Caves. Now with an exit name like Two Guns, and a Google Maps pin calling it Apache Death Caves, how had I not heard about this place before? Well, it turns out this place has a bit of a sordid history. The legend of the Apache Death Caves tells the story set in the late 1870s of a group of Apache who raided and all but wiped out a Navajo village. In this raid, 3 girls were taken hostage. This led the Navajo survivors to gather warriors from the neighboring village and form a hunting party. They tracked the Apache raiders for 3 days. The trail led them here. Upon hearing voices coming from the ground, the Navajo found a cave system and confronted the Apache raiders. When it was discovered the Apache had already killed the 3 hostages, the Navajo packed the entrance with sagebrush and lit it on fire. Those Apache that fled the cave were killed on sight, and those that stayed in the cave suffocated from the smoke. When the fires burned out and the smoke had cleared, the Navajo entered the cave. There, they found the bodies of 42 Apache. Legend says that the local tribes declared this land cursed and wanted nothing to do with it, thus paving the way for the homesteaders Earl and Louise Cundiff to purchase nearly 320 acres of the surrounding land for $1,000 in the early 1920s. The Cundiffs built a trading post, restaurant, and a gas station to service the National Old Trails Highway at the Canyon Diablo Bridge along the Diablo Canyon. Unfortunately, this is where the Cundiffs' luck ran out. In 1925, an entrepreneurial man by the name of Harry E. Miller leased the Cundiffs' land near the Canyon Diablo Bridge. Now, I don't know if he leased that section of land because he knew that Route 66 was going to be taking over the existing National Old Trails Highway right here, or if he leased it to capitalize on the lore surrounding the Apache Death Caves. Either way, by the inception of Route 66 in the area in 1926, Miller had constructed his own trading post and gas station and an exotic animal zoo featuring mountain lions, various types of snakes, birds, and Gila monsters. Miller also registered the area as the town of Two Guns. Some say the name was to honor silent film actor William Surrey Hart, also known as Two Guns Bill, who got the nickname for the twin Colt revolvers that accompanied him in 77 of his silent films. So one account that I read says that Miller also claimed to be full-blooded Apache and referred to himself as Chief Crazy Thunder. Now, I seriously doubt that claim, as not only did Miller give tours of the Apache Death Cave, he even went so far as to sell skeletal remains to tourists as souvenirs. And now, if that wasn't a reflection of his character, a year after leasing the land, Miller and Earl Cundiff got into a disagreement over the terms of the lease, and Miller shot an unarmed Cundiff, killing him on the spot. Now, I don't know how he did it, but the smooth-talking Miller was acquitted of murder. I get the feeling that karma may have stepped in at this point, though, as Miller was later mauled not once, but twice by 2 different mountain lions in his own zoo. And if that wasn't enough, he was later bitten by one of the Gila monsters and suffered a massive infection that almost ended his life. It is said that once Miller recovered from the infection, he cleared out all of the jewelry, silver, and turquoise and set fire to the trading post, then left the state. Now, Louise Cundiff pushed on after the death of her husband and the disappearance of Miller. She opened a new trading post, and Two Guns slowly shed its outrageous reputation. So Two Guns thrived under the new management as motels, taverns, and even a KOA campground were built. Obviously, this renaissance did not last. A fire tore through the town in 1971, destroying the service station and trading post, and with the diversion of Route 66 to where Interstate 40 is today, marked the last nail in the coffin for this little roadside curiosity, leaving the town of Two Guns no choice but to fade away into the landscape. From Two Guns, we followed Interstate 40 west, stopping off at Flagstaff for a bit of lunch and some unsolicited education from a couple of locals on how Flagstaff had been listed as the 8th most expensive small city in America, only recently being bumped down the leaderboard by their rival Boulder, Colorado. Now, I'm not sure if they were stating this fact as a complaint or a sense of pride, as they promptly toasted each other with the phrase, "To poverty with a view." Far be it from me to point out the last list I looked at didn't even mention Flagstaff or Boulder in the top 50, let alone the top 10. However, with my $7 pint and my $18 hamburger sitting in front of me, I acknowledged their point and enjoyed the warmth of their heated discussion. With a full belly, we scooted on down the road towards Williams, Arizona, last town on Route 66 to be bypassed by an interstate which took place on October 13th, 1984. Why do I know that? I'll take worthless information for a 500, Alex. We did have to circle back once we dropped off the truck to take a tour through Bearizona, Arizona's only open-air drive-through zoological extravaganza. Bearizona gets a solid 4.8 out of 5 stars with over 12,000 reviews on Google, which is probably why I was a bit underwhelmed when I paid $70 to sit in bumper-to-bumper traffic to watch people jockey for a position to snap a selfie with these animals in their natural habitat. I will admit that I'm mostly jaded by growing up outside of the Rocky Mountain National Park. Seeing these animals just outside of your car window would be an experience of a lifetime for most people. On the other hand, I had flashbacks to roads blocked by throngs of tourists taking pictures of bighorn sheep while I was just trying to make it to the next job site. I did have a laugh when Michelle made the comment she's seen more elk and bighorn sheep pulling into my parents' driveway than she has here at the zoo. But the moment of redemption for both of us was at the wolf enclosure. It was this moment when I understood the complete disappearance of attentive driving skills we were all exhibiting throughout the zoo. All in all, if you don't regularly see bear, elk, or bighorn sheep, Bearizona could be a welcome experience for you and your family. Leaving Bearizona behind us, we headed back to Williams to walk down small-town Main Street Route 66, stopping in to enjoy dinner at the famous Cruiser 66 Cafe. I indulged in the pulled pork mac and cheese, just to make sure I wasn't going to waste away to a supermodel.
Thanks for the french fry.
And after dinner, we caught another beautiful sunset right out of the back of the truck.
It's not every day you get a beautiful sunset like this.
The night was early and we'd spotted a distillery across the street, so it was off to the Brickhouse Distillery for a nightcap. I was told the B fell off the building in a windstorm a few weeks ago, and they just hadn't gotten around to putting it back up. With the tasting room a bit slow, with a total of 4 patrons, we got to chatting with the other guests as I've been told I'm prone to do.
Yeah.
We ended up joining our tables with the other couple, and along with the bartender we talked about the history of the surrounding area, swapping stories of time spent as a mixologist. This led to the bartender working to perfect the traditional old-fashioned. From my recollection, he kind of nailed it when he topped the cocktail with a caramelized orange slice. Thankfully, we were within walking distance of our home on wheels.
Cheers. Yeah, that's dangerous.
Tune in next time as we take a frosty drive to visit the Pueblos.
Well, that's how you know it's cold out. And all of the tires are 5 psi lower than they were when we parked it.
Tour the Grand Canyon, survive a train robbery, and find ourselves in one of the most beautiful locations to wake up to.
Oh, yeah, and I'm breathing hard because I'm at 5,000 something feet, and I am out of shape. This trip has been eye-opening as far as like how much I'm not moving. So this next couple of months we are going to be hunkered down for a little while, and we are going to get back in shape if it kills us. Well, hopefully it won't kill us, but you know what I mean.
And with that, I want to thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.